Welcome to Tone Deaf, a theater nerd's guide for their musically challenged spouse. I'm Kay, a musical theater nerd.
And I'm Warren. I'm musically challenged.
So today, Warren is going to be your introduction to the work of Melvin Van Peebles.
I like when people have Van in their name. Makes them sound like royalty or just cool, you know? Like I could be Warren Van Warrenson or something. Warren Von Tone Deaf.
Warren Von Tone Deaf.
Oh, there we go. That's there we go. It's my canon name. Warren Von Tone Deaf.
So, I want to eventually do a deep dive on Melvin Van Peebles in general because, first off, he was revolutionary with black film anyway. But my introduction to him was the film Watermelon Man. And, like, the stuff that I learned for this episode, I wish that my film instructors and theater instructors had covered him. For this episode, I watched the documentary called How to Eat Your Watermelon in White Company and Enjoy It Too. And I also found some great information on the insert for the Melvin Van Peebles Collection CD, which is available on archive.org. But I will say that finding much more information about this musical was hard. I wanted to use African American Theater, a cultural companion, because of course I bought more books, but there's barely anything in it about this show. It is like a musical footnote. It is a black theater history footnote, and this will not stand. But I couldn't find much in any of the books that I have. This musical is horrifically under-discussed. Is it the best musical? No. But it's genuine and unique, and I like it.
I like genuine and unique.
Yeah, you will never see a show like this again. Like,
it's one of those. It's both exciting and slightly terrifying because yeah.
So I'm going to do a brief biography because, again, I want to do a deep dive someday and analyze all his films. Just, we won't be able to do that for a black theater history thing. It will be on the regular podcast because this is probably the most PG rated of his films.
It's just mature subject matter.
Yes, very mature. Very mature,
dealing with serious, adult, mature societal issues.
Yes. Oh my goodness. So, Melvin Van Peebles was born in Chicago on August 21st, 1932. He went to an integrated high school and then went to Ohio Wesleyan University, where he graduated with a bachelor's in literature. After college, he served in the Air Force during the Korean War. He then worked as a cable car operator in San Francisco, and then in the late 1950s, he shot his first short films. This comes from the CD insert. Van Peebles, taken by the first wave of underground cinema, simply decided that he was going to be a filmmaker. Going into debt to acquire some equipment, he shot his first 30-minute film on 16mm stock in San Francisco, learning his basic technique from Sergei Eisenstein's film form Essays in Film Theory. Once the films were shot, Van Peebles was unable to afford to hire a quality soundtrack composer. Necessity being the mother of invention, he decided to write his own score, humming, playing kazoo and harmonica. By 1958, Van Peebles had fully entered the worlds of motion picture and music. Now, he doesn't find success breaking into the film industry at this time, so he goes, okay, fine, and goes to Holland to study astronomy, as you do.
Well, that's a pivot.
I love this man.
He seems like the kind of person that he gets intrigued by something and he's like, I'm going to go learn about that and do it.
Yes.
It very much reminds me of you.
Yes. Like, he is me if I was polyamorous. And also...
Born male.
Born male. But so... he then receives a call from the Cinematheque in Paris to show his films. And this is the one time that I think you'll be okay with the French, Warren, because this is where he found his success. He worked for his director's card, writing 5 novels in French. One of them is La Fête à Harlem. I am so bad with French, everybody. I apologize.
It's a terrible language and should be erased from the world.
No. It's just I haven't spoken it since 5th grade. But this would later become the musical that we're watching today. And then he supported himself as a busker. So he was playing on street corners, earning money, like playing music on street corners.
That's what you call street musicians, as a busker?
Yes. So, sidebar, fun fact about Kay, some serious Kay lore. When I was planning on going to London for school before my health tanked, that was what I was going to do, I was going to get a busker's license, because you need to be licensed to do that now, and I was going to pay my way through stuff being a street musician.
I'm glad that you did not have to...
I am very glad that I didn't do that.
Actually do that.
You know...
it would be very...
Being an 18-year-old is not a...
substitute for life experience.
Exactly.
It's a very romantic idea in your head, like to be an artist and to pay your way doing that, like in the gritty real world. But lots of bad things happen to people who are on the streets.
Yes. So I'm very glad that my body just decided one day, no, I'm gonna collapse out from under you.
Like, I'm gonna find a nice white boy and set down roots. Like a tree.
Grow those roots.
Yep. Get chickens. 2 dogs.
Get chickens, dogs, a cat, eventually rabbits. Anyway, so with all of this money, he was able to film his next film, Story of a 3-Day Pass, from the CD insert as well. A critical hit, Story of a 3-Day Pass allowed Van Peebles to return to the States in 1967 as the French delegate to the San Francisco Film Festival, where the film won the Critics' Award. Pleased with the reception of his film, Van Peebles was dismayed by the then-current state of African-American music.
Fair.
I came back and I didn't hear the music I expected to hear, claims Van Peebles. I heard a lot of protest songs. There weren't really any black protest songs. I said, these guys are in their effing underwear. This is not the public. I know what the folks want. At least I knew what I want. The only venues open for protest were spirituals or blues or the classical ballads. But I wanted to say more, so I started singing a different way, what the Germans call Sprechtheme. Might be Sprechtime.
Springtime?
So... I think it was probably also influenced by the French chansons de réaliste of Gambia and other people like that, where words are more important than music. I was interested in stories. I invented rap, which is not very much known. I'm sort of like a hidden originator without portfolio. Which, that's the thing that I've become obsessed with on this guy, is he knew what he wanted, and if he didn't see it or hear it, he made it himself.
I respect that. I respect that a lot.
His album, Brer Soul, is rap.
People with that kind of drive and conviction, I am just awed by.
Yeah.
Because I so frequently get paralyzed by, like, the possibilities, and then these people like Melvin are just like, nah, I'm gonna go do this. I'm gonna do it the way I want to do it.
Yeah, like, I am obsessed with this guy now. I am like, why did I not know more about you sooner when you were alive? Like,
because the man was keeping it down.
You know what? Actually, you're not completely wrong there.
No, I mean, I know I'm not. As never mind. I will. Mm-hmm.
Yes. So the way he wrote music was also really wild. He had a very unique ear, and it wasn't until he heard Thelonious Monk in Paris where he realized that he could compose. Because Thelonious Monk did really experimental jazz. That's kind of the best way to put it. And that was the music that Melvin Van Peebles had in his soul. In the documentary How to Eat Your Watermelon in White Company and Enjoy It Too, they actually show how he would write his music, and he would do it by numbers instead of notes. Then he had a friend who did know how to conventionally write music who would transpose it. And it leads to some brilliant stuff. It's going to be jarring the first time you see it, but I love Don't Play Us Cheap's soundtrack. It's rough around the edges, but it's genuine and it's real, just like everything else this guy puts himself in.
So something I'd never thought about before, you said played music by numbers instead of notes?
Yes.
That actually makes more sense to my brain. I think I might be able to understand music if it was like numbered and it was like, this is a 1, this is a 2, this is a 3, versus A, B, C, E, F, G, LMNOP.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why.
You might, actually.
So does that mean that if I were to learn music, it would be the French method?
Well, it would be the Melvin Van Peebles method.
Oh, Melvin Van Peebles method.
Yeah, because this isn't a way that people generally learn music, but...
I might be a Van Peebles stan.
You might... Yeah. No, seriously, by the end of this, I think everyone will be a Melvin Van Peebles stan. So...
I stan Peeble.
Don't Play Us Cheap wasn't his first musical either. That would be Ain't Supposed to Die a Natural Death, which is another one of those musicals I would sell my soul to see the full production of.
Ain't supposed to die a natural death.
So that's the one that the only video I could find was more than just a few seconds to a minute. It was the performance at the Tony Awards in 1972, which, whew... That musical needs to be talked about more just for the ending alone, which they performed at that awards show. That's the one where I was telling you off mic that there's a kid that's running from the cops, and he's telling his feet to keep running, and then he gets shot. And after he falls dead, his feet keep running until he finally just dies, and a bag lady comes out and curses the whole audience.
As you do.
Yes, it is real. It is real, and I really want to see it so badly. Anyway, the one that we're seeing today is called Don't Play Us Cheap. Like I said, this is based on a novel that he wrote when he was in Paris. This novel, in turn, was based on an interaction he had when he was in New York. From the CD insert, it was a hot day, and this little old black lady who was walking down the street asked me to her house. She didn't know me from Adam, but you know those old people from the South. She said, "Son, you got any water in there?" I was sitting on the stoop. "Yes, ma'am, come on in." So I gave her some lemonade, and she called me later. She said, "Son, now listen, I'm having a party up here, and you're gonna come." It was a party for her niece. These people were so open, nice, sweet, and they didn't know me from Adam. That's where I got the idea for Don't Play Us Cheap. I said, suppose I was a devil, an imp, and I came to F this party up. I had to decide how I was going to deal with how many times Melvin Van Peebles says the F word in these interviews.
If I have to be on my best behavior, then Melvin Van Peebles has to be on his best behavior too. And he's dead, so we can't exactly hold him to account. So the buck passes to you, Kay.
That's why I'm saying F. So
PHF.
PHF, yes.
I don't know.
So, according to How to Eat Your Watermelon and White Company and Enjoy It Too, he brought in a friend from theater and a friend who was in film and showed them both the script, asking if this should be a film or a play, and the answer was both. This is going to be unlike any pro shot you've seen. It jarred me at first, but I quickly sank into it, and let me tell you, this musical is an experience. Unfortunately, though, financing and distribution were a nightmare for him, so while he was able to film the stage production before its actual premiere in May of 1972, the film languished until 73 and wasn't seen widely until it reached home video in the 90s. And then, even frustratingly, I don't hear a lot about this show, because it has heavy hitters in it. Tone Deaf alumnus Mabel King, Eveline from The Wiz, is in it. Esther Roll from Maude and Good Times. This musical should not be as obscure as it is. It is on Amazon Prime right now, and I know that's a terrible company, but it's either here or the Criterion Collection were the two places I could easily find it. I did find a copy of the DVD on Amazon and on eBay. There's also some VHS copies out there, but other than that, that's it. I don't know that it's still in print even. It's wild to me. It is wild to me that this isn't more well known.
So what you're saying is we need to go steal it in order to preserve it, like Indiana Jones.
Well, I mean,
this belongs in a museum.
I've got a hard copy of the DVD because I was like, that is one of those things I've started really getting more into more physical media again, because after having a hard drive die and take all of these other musicals with it, I'm like, okay, I guess I do need DVD.
Yeah.
But, like I said, this needs more eyes on it. It's very weird, it's very charming, and it's very genuine. It honestly, some of the interactions reminded me of, like, between the devils is if Screwtape Letters was good.
I don't know what Screwtape Letters is.
That's fine.
Okay.
You're not missing anything.
Woohoo!
Hot take, I know. Hot takes up here in the C.S. Lewis fandom.
Hot take, cold
I don't
give.
know. But yeah, it's just, there's so much that's really interesting about it that I wish I could know more. There is another musical that he wrote in 1983 called Champagne, but again, can't find anything about it. In fact, it was one of those things where I saw that there was that musical, no plot, no anything about it. I'm just, what? So I'm not going to get into the rest of his filmography right now because I want to show you this musical, but arguably he is the reason blaxploitation existed. And I say that because one of his films that kind of kickstarted the genre was wildly popular and also wildly revolutionary in the way that tends to scare people.
Would it be fair to say that he is the reason that we have Boondocks?
I would say so. I would say like if you like Shaft, if you like Boondocks, if you like Undercover Brother, if you like any of those, you owe it to Melvin Van Peebles, who did it first and did it best.
Thank you, Melvin. I'm sorry you were born with that name.
Hey, Melvin's a fine name. It's a fine name. I wouldn't have it, but that's just because I'm K. And K puts me in A team.
Mm-hmm.
So, his other musical was supposed to be getting a revival, the Ain't Supposed to Die a Natural Death, but I cannot see anything after 2022 about it, which has me heartbroken. He was directing until 2012, and then he was still acting until the late 2010s, early 2020s. He passed away on September 21st, 2021, but there is a posthumous short that he is in that is in post-production, according to IMDb. So, with all of that shared, do you have any questions before we go see one of the most bizarrely shot pro shots I have ever seen, and I mean that with all of the affection in the world?
No, I'm good.
You're good? All right, then let's take a brief intermission. We're gonna watch us some Don't Play Us Cheap, and then we'll see what Warren thinks about it.
I'll have some expensive takes.
Yes. Wait. Oh my gosh. Hey Warren.
Hey Kay,
Do you know what time it is?
is it time to talk about our favorite people in the whole wide world?
It is!
Woo! We'd like to thank our stage crew sponsors, Jasmine Wu, Jeff, Tyler McCarty, and Shamick.
And our producer circle sponsors, BeAnucci, Taylor Brandt, Jesse, and Cookie. Thank you all so much for your continued support of our show.
We truly appreciate it.
My name is Country Boy from the One Mic Black History Podcast, the Black History podcast that chronicles little-known incidents from African Americans in American history. And this clip is about the origins of Black History Month. Black History Month is the annual celebration of the study and achievements of African Americans, and it was birthed from a time when African Americans weren't being recognized for their central role in American history. Also known as African American History Month, it grew out of Negro History Week, which was the brainchild of Black historian Carter G. Woodson. In 1915, Carter G. Woodson and prominent minister Jesse E. Moreland founded the Association for the Study of Negro Life and History. This organization was dedicated to researching and promoting the achievements of African Americans and people of African descent. If you enjoyed this clip and you'd like to learn more, join us at onemikehistory.com.
And now, the lights are going down and the music's starting back up, so let's head back to the second act of our show.
All right, Warren, what did you think of Don't Play Us Cheap?
It was interesting. I liked it. It was different. It's pretty fast paced. They did a lot with such a small set.
Yes.
Like it is like 2 rooms.
Yeah.
And they cram a lot of people into those 2 rooms.
Yep. And this was, like, the set was the stage. So that is where it would have been on stage. So you'd have one room here, you move into another room here, and that's what your set would be.
Is it kind of similar to probably how they did it with A Raisin in the Sun?
Possibly. Think more... Trying to think of a pro shot that... Think, honestly, Hamilton.
Oh, okay.
So it was staged, like, on the... It was filmed on the stage, rather than it being at a location or being in a sound stage. It was filmed on the Broadway stage that they performed this on.
I have a question, though, because I'm thinking about the title now that I've watched the show and everything and kind of went through my notes, and Don't Play Us Cheap. What is the meaning behind that name, for as far as you've gleaned? Because what I can kind of glean from it is implying that the spirit of people is easier to break than it is. Kind of like you have a cheap soul, you have a cheap fortitude.
Yeah.
You're easy to break. And so I kind of get because, well, of course, I'll get into it as I'm reading the notes. But the overall premise is essentially two demons, 2 devils, 2 imps, who are trying to ruin people's good time. Mm-hmm. And they are not having any of it.
Yep. I think you've hit the nail right on the head with what it's about.
Well, I am a hammer, so everything's a nail.
If I had a hammer. Anyway.
All right, so Don't Play Us Cheap, the 1973 production. The show opens up with a young woman who is in a skirt who desperately needs a sandwich because she is way too skinny. Anyways, a rat starts talking and asks if you're hip to things. His buddy, a roach, is standing next to him, and the rat is talking about how devils are actually super lame and weak and only as powerful as you think that they are, which is actually a pretty good lesson. He does have some wisdom that the devil can't rip you off if you don't have anything in your heart to rip off, which I think might be a commentary on not having a get-rich-quick mentality, but as I've watched the show and stuff, I think it's more of... when we talk about devil can't rip you off if you don't have a heart to be ripped off. Mm-hmm. Just means, I think, be steadfast in your convictions kind of thing. Mm-hmm. But my media literacy is middling, so. But the rat and roach duo are singing, "Oh, baby, some days it seems like it doesn't even pay to get out of bed," which I feel you on that. But the rat and roach continue to sing about how some days it don't even pay to get out of bed. The rat is talking about heading to his girlfriend's place. She lives behind a drain pipe, 'cause rat. But then they start talking about some imps, like devil imps, who are looking to cause some trouble. They spot some black people and are like, "When black people party, they don't mess around." The imps are arguing about crashing this black people party, 'cause there ain't no party like a black Harlem party. But no imp who's ever crashed a Black Harlem party has ever come back. I don't know if you knew this, Kate. It was new knowledge to me.
We have way too much fun.
Apparently. But the other one says that it's just an old imp's tale. Haha, get it? Because imps have tail. Anyways, one of the imps turns into a roach and infiltrates the Black Harlem party. But these fine folks are just chilling and laughing about how if it ain't one thing, it's another thing going on. Aunt Maybelle jumps up and says that she needs to go check on things in the kitchen, but she stops to talk about how, in a poem about the Bible, it says that in the beginning, every day was a party day. But Adam and Eve just had to ruin it for everyone. Another guy gets up and starts talking about the 8-day work week. Sunday, you go to church and wash away your sins. Monday through Friday, you work. And then Saturday, you get your pay. And Saturday night is a day all itself. 'Cause Saturday night is party time. Oh, Saturday night is party time. Lord, 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 I love Saturday night. And it's not at all what the song actually sounds like. I mean,
Saturday night is partying time. Saturday night is partying time.
Thank you, Kay. Seeing these folks enjoy themselves, I couldn't help but think SATURDAY, night. Yeah, because I'm white, and that's about the extent of my knowledge. Anyways, a new song comes on the record player, and a woman with a yellow flower on her head, who I don't think I ever learned the name of, she's like, yeah, that's my song. And she gets up to sing about cut up clothes in the closet of her dream, pulling seams and busting buttons. Is that a euphemism? Anyways, she's really into her song and is just giving it her all. She continues singing about how it never rains forever, and she's wearing a brand new wardrobe of love and moving right on. I think the song is about not dwelling on failed love and moving on with your life.
Mm-hmm.
And she's moving on to the next singer.
Yep.
But not before the aforementioned woman from the opening who desperately needs a sandwich, who is
You really
named...
want to feed this child.
She's too skinny. I'm just saying. Food is a love language in our house, so eat one of your dang sandwiches.
Manja.
Yes. But her name is Ernestine, and she's in the kitchen, and she gets assaulted by one of the imps when it explodes into the kitchen and scares the living dickens out of her. Aunt Maybelle comes into the kitchen and starts interrogating the imp like, you the gas guy? You a maintenance man? I will go upside your head if you don't get out of my kitchen. But it sounds like the man imp can't talk because of a tight collar that's around his neck. They help the poor rat imp out, and suddenly he's got a silky smooth voice and starts being a little flirty. He's like, I heard your party and wanted to come too. And Auntie is like, sure, you fine rat imp man, you can join our party. And introduces the previously startled niece, Erstine, and is like, it's her birthday, she turned 20. And there's some eye-batting between the two. Auntie starts bragging about her niece, saying how she moved to the city and got a job, and she's not a cleaning job either. She's a saleswoman, a real educated job, and she's very proud of her sister's daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, they bring the rat imp named Trinity into the party, and people walk up to him and say hi, making him feel welcome to the party. They offer Trinity a beverage, but he slyly shimmies over to the record player and is like, oh, what kind of tunes do you got? And somehow sits on all the records and breaks them like, oh no, I broke the records. I ruined the party. How could this happen? How could a rat imp like me do such a thing? Now this party is ruined. And all the folks laugh at him like, you fool! The party can't end even if the records are broken, 'cause the music is unbreakable.
And he doesn't even break the records.
Yeah.
He just sits on them, and they're all, these records are unbreakable. You can bend them. You can bite them. And I love this scene so much.
Where he's just trying to cause trouble.
Mm-hmm.
And then Trinity, the rat imp, drinks all the booze and is like, oh no, I ruined the party by drinking all the booze. And they laugh and laugh. This poor fool imp's attempt to break the music and drink all the beverages, and then he eats all the sandwiches like, oh no, I ate all the food. Now surely the party is ruined, right? This guy, man. But it's Saturday night, party night, and ain't nothing this fool can do to break up their good time.
Plus, like, it's a bring your own beverage party. And so everybody starts handing him their own bottles like, no, I had this one, I brought this one. And then with the sandwiches, out comes Ernestine with another plate of sandwiches.
Mm-hmm. Trinity, the rat imp, is like bummed that his devilish shenanigans are not working, and the niece is like, "Here, eat this sandwich I made extra special just for you." And she asks if Trinity likes it, and he turns up the jerk factor all, "No, your sandwich sucks, and you should feel bad for feeding me this garbage." And he makes birthday girl Ernestine run away and cry. And then Trinity proceeds to try and sing as poorly as I do in order to ruin the music of the party, all while the people standing behind him in like this dazed trance, just like, "Wow, this is some really bad singing." Like, I've sung poorly in my day, but I've never sung bad enough to put people into a trance. Must be that devil rat imp magic. But anyways, the booze and food catches up with the rat imp, and he passes the heck out and hits the floor.
And that's what I love, is that the way that he filmed that sequence, you start to realize, oh, he's drunk.
Well, because he drinks like a whole bottle.
Yeah,
like
drinks a whole bottle and eats a whole tray of sandwiches, just like shoves them all in his mouth. And so the way that they're kind of swaying and the way that the camera is and his off-key singing, as you start to realize he's drunk and isn't prepared for what's about to happen next.
See, I didn't take it as that he was drunk and that's why he was singing bad. I took it as he was intentionally trying to sing bad in order to like ruin the festivities.
Yeah,
like
no,
I do.
It was kind of like a because any of the times that the imps are having kind of their own in between moments, and it really gets more obvious both towards the start but towards later, where they speak in a high pitch. Yeah, it's sort of like time is moving differently in this situation versus what the rest of the world is seeing. It's very interesting this guy was such a good filmmaker.
Wouldn't you call those the imp between moments? So, Trinity drinks too many boozes, eats too many Sammies, and passes out. So they scoop him up and they plop him in a bed to sleep it off. But he bounces back up relatively quickly and starts to have some introspection. He's like, "I sold my soul to the devil because I wanted to be mean, petty, and selfish." But then he says he has remorse and has seen his future, and he doesn't want to be an evil devil rat anymore. Character growth.
Mm-hmm.
Trinity sits and sulks while everybody around him continues to party, except for birthday girl niece Ernestine is hard to say. Niece Ernestine. Niece Ernestine. Birthday girl niece Ernestine, who is still crying, and Auntie, who is like confronting Trinity on why he made her niece cry. Trinity is like, "I don't know. I just wanted to be mean. I don't know why I did it." And Auntie Maybelle is like, "Oh, the devil got into you. It happens to people now and then. The devil makes you think it's fun to be mean. Sneaky devil. Sneaky, sneaky mean devil." Trinity feels bad, and he goes to apologize to Ernestine and tells her that the sandwich she made special for him was oh so very good, and he's very, very sorry. He then explains it wasn't the sandwich or her, and scarfs more Sammys, and tells Ernestine that he likes her. Like, he likes her. Not just likes, he likes her. And Ernestine giggles like a bashful, naive girl. She talks about how she used to think she wanted to be alone because she had brothers and sisters and there was always just lots of people around her. But then someone taught her the lost art of making a bed tent where you could be in your own private world. But Trinity is like, "Can it be a private world for two?" Wink, wink. And then the two go into their coat tent secret Saturday night Narnia to get away from everybody else. The way they shoot it too is they make
the Narnia comment.
Saturday Night Narnia. The way they make it seem like too is they do almost like a TARDIS thing where it seems like in this fictitious world underneath this bed tent, everything is bigger than outside of it. It's like the way they try to shoot it to be like, sorry. And that's where I got the Narnia comment, because it was like,
See, I thought it was because of my earlier going, "This is if Screwtape Letters was good."
Nope, that went right over my head. But Ernestine, she then goes to confess to her auntie that she's in love with Trinity. You know, the man that she met like 10 minutes ago. And Trinity is like, "Yeah!" And he's like checking himself out in the mirror because he's so suave.
Auntie sings to Ernestine about how you have to follow your heart. People will tell you one thing or to behave one way, but you have to go your own way. Sometimes you make mistakes, but you've got to take care of your own life. And it's a good song about knowing your own heart and following it, and I like it. But now back to the party. The music is kicking up, and people are shaking, bopping, and laughing. On a side note, I joke about how my only dance move is the white boy shuffle. There is an uncle or dad figure in this who seems to think he's a choo-choo train, suddenly making me feel like I'm a smooth Casanova on the dance floor. Let this be a lesson, listeners. Be grateful for small miracles, like finding out somebody you've never met is a worse dancer than you are. Like, he does this, as he's doing, like, this move, it was making me think of Starlight Express. Like, freight is great. Freight. I'm like, somebody derail this chocolate train. He needs to stop. But anyways, it sounds like this is the best birthday party that Ernestine has ever had, and she's slow dancing with Trinity, who seems to be less of a rat imp, and now I'm beginning to see why no imp who ever goes to a party in Harlem has ever come back. And meet a nice girl and settle down somewhere. And a new song picks up, and one of the uncles is singing about how there were only 4 things on this young country boy's mind: his mama's picture, Sweet Lucy, the captain's boot, and quitting time. And it's a sweet song about how this man can get through his hard days thinking about his love, making his mama proud, and what I glean from that is that we find strength in our family and loved ones in order to deal with the hardships of the world. Or something like that. My media literacy is mid at best.
Mm-hmm. It's a very good, it's kind of in the vein of a lot of spirituals, and
yes, that is
so
actually a great way.
You're having like these metaphors for things, and like the quitting time in one of the final verses of the song, he's talking about going up the steps to the pearly gates, and he just wants to see his mom and have her hold him in her arms and put her hand on his shoulder and say, "Son, it's quitting time." And sort of, it's beautiful. It is such a beautiful song.
It is a good song, and it's funny, I didn't make the connection that it has that feel of being like a spiritual that you mentioned, and it was like, yeah, it does feel like that.
Yeah, a lot of this has a lot of those same traditions. Melvin knew what he was doing when he was, like, yes, he didn't compose things in a conventional manner, and he didn't write music or lyrics in a conventional manner, but he knew what he was doing. Love that guy.
I would say this: everything that we take as conventional was unconventional at one point.
That is true.
Yeah, see?
That is true.
Yeah, trendsetter.
Mm-hmm.
So the song ends, and the doorbell rings, and the auntie is like, "That must be the Johnsons. I invited them because I was planning on hooking up Ernestine with their son Harold, but that was before I knew this fine young imp Trinity was going to pop in." And then she proceeds to unlock like 5 locks on the door before welcoming the Johnsons in.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I mean, sure. I mean, security. I don't blame you.
That actually was something that was in the footnote in the one book that I had, where they talk about that you don't expect to see on a Broadway stage a woman walking over and opening up all of the locks, and that was just another touch of that genuineness that is this show. Because, yeah, that was a way that a lot of folks had their doors locked. It's not just, the padlock the chain lock and the deadbolt. It was chain lock, deadbolt, another deadbolt, another chain lock, and the broom.
Just a cacophony of clacking metal as she's unlocking the door. And Trinity now has competition for Ernestine. Harold is a college man and tall. Trinity takes notice and has this look like, I just turned good. Am I going to have to turn bad upside this fool's head? And he asks Ernestine if she'd like to dance, but Ernestine is like, I'm the hostess. I need to make sure the other guests feel welcome too. And she proceeds to dance with Harold, much to Trinity's concern. There are some jokes about working for the government, but the punchline is that they're mail clerks.
Yes, Brother Bowser and
Mr. Johnson
are both mail clerks. Like,
Yeah, but Mr. Johnson's like he thinks he's high class and he's very snooty in the way he behaves. He's like, got like a pipe and yeah, I work for the government.
And he's dressed in like your stereotypical polo player sort of garb with the high like up to the knee pants and the striped socks, and just looks very mismatched. And Mrs. Johnson has her hair dyed blue, and they just both are
She has like a feather boa, doesn't she?
Yeah, and they're very hoity-toity people. The worst kind of people.
The phrase uppity is used a few times to describe them in the course of the show.
Yeah.
As people
You can say that because it was used in the show.
Yes. As people are dancing and Trinity stands all awkwardly, they ask him if he'd like to pick the next record. Auntie Maybelle notices that Trinity is distracted and upset, and she's like, if I'm not too old, you can give me a spin. And she proceeds to tell Trinity that it's fine. Ernestine's just being a good hostess to Harold, and that she's really sure that she'd rather be dancing with you. And then Trinity reels in his hurt feelings and starts to enjoy the dance with Aunt Maybelle. The dance ends, and Trinity thanks Auntie Maybelle for the dance. Ernestine and Maybelle go into the kitchen to check on things, and Maybelle has Ernestine close the door for a private conversation, but gets distracted and smashes a cockroach with her smasher. And she calls it her smasher.
It's a rolled-up newspaper taped up.
Yeah, it's just a rolled-up tape newspaper. She calls her smasher. She then smacks Ernestine, being like, don't be lying to your auntie. And then she gives Ernestine some crap about how when she first met Trinity, she was all starry-eyed over him and crying over him, and now she's flirting with Harold and giving Trinity the cold shoulder. After a smack, she tells her not to jump from fella to fella, and Ernestine is like, but Auntie, I'm not. And then she brings out this paper that has like an article on how to manipulate men, how to fry him in his jealousy, and to steam him in his envy, and using all these cooking metaphors.
It's basically a Cosmo.
Yeah, let's make it like a
Cosmo
cosmopolitan magazine. Yeah, it's basically like 10 ways to make him insane with jealousy or stupid things like that. And Ernestine says that she's just testing Trinity. And Auntie says that she's begging for the devil. And guess who shows up? Not the devil, as I come to learn, but the devil is like, Trinity, there you are, my boy. Now that we're together, let's break this party and crush these human spirits. The not devil asks to dance with Ernestine, but she excuses herself into the kitchen. Mr. Johnson is like, you look familiar, Mr. Not Devil. I work for the government. What line of business are you in? And the not devil jokes that they're in the same line of business.
And this is something that I didn't catch the first time that I saw it, but when he has that moment, there's a cut, and in that cut, the clothing that Mr. Johnson wears changes.
Does it?
He ends up with a similar cape to the imps.
Oh.
Yeah. And it's just for that moment.
Oh.
Which now I'm looking at it going, there's an implication there because of things that get brought up later in this musical. I'm like, I
mean, especially like the time that it was filmed and everything, there's much more to say about like the government being bad, you know?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, not
that it's...
yeah, the year we're in and everything like that. Okay.
Everything's a cycle.
We then cut to Ernestine, who is not in the kitchen, but instead singing to herself in a different room entirely about her man, and she seems to be very enthralled with her own whimsy. And then she sings about how when he smiles, she's all aflutter, and when he grins, her knees turn to butter, and how she wants to be safe in his arms forever, from all harm forever. Sounds nice. I wish someone would hold me and keep me safe in their arms. Where's my man, Kay? Anyways, Ernestine finishes her ballad of boyfriend wanting, and then we return to the devil, who is asking about the family and wants all the news. The devil not devil is asking why Trinity sucks at breaking up this party, and Trinity is like, I don't want to break up this party. These people are nice. But we learn his name is Dave. Dave, the not actually the devil, the second imp from the opening scene, is like, I sold my soul to the devil, and I love it. And Trinity starts trying to break Dave, asking him about love, trying to poke holes in his imp persona. because Trinity doesn't want to break the party anymore. But he's stuck trying to keep up appearances with Dave, the Not Devil. But the older, more experienced imp starts pushing back on Trinity, saying that love has a reason, but hate is pure. Hate doesn't need a reason, because pure love doesn't exist. So he'll settle for pure hate. Which, come on, man, that's some poor reasoning. Stupid devil and his pseudo tricks. Which, there is something to be said for, like, the philosophical take on love being conditional, but hate being eternal. It's an interesting duality conversation, but Dave starts to stir the party pot and starts whispering to Uncle Bowser, being like, "Break the party. Your wife has been sleeping with another man. Give in to the evil." Brother Bowser is like, we're like quarter separated, so yeah, that's fine, whatever.
Yeah, it's like, thank you for that news, but that news isn't new.
Mm-hmm. He's like, yeah, we kind of like, if he says a quarter separated, which is like, are you just saying you have an open relationship, but that wasn't like
the term
for
time.
that kind of thing. And then Dave the Not Devil is like, "You're mocking the rules of our culture and society." And Bowser is like, "Mo ho 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 ho." I mean, lots of books say lots of things, but we get our lessons and rules from the Book of Life. I had to do a Bowser joke. You can't have a character named Bowser, not. But then they groove out about the Book of Life. Much to Dave the Not Devil's dismay, he's failing to break this Saturday night party people's spirits. The song that they do here is another good one, where they relate the real-world education poor folks get to being at the University of Life. It's very upbeat and puts a positive spin on growing up in adversity, because they're very much talking about, like, you're born and enrolled for free, to the school of getting knocked down. And yeah, very much just like the lessons we learn have come from the University of Life.
Get my rules from the Book of Living. Get my rules from the Book of Life. That song.
That's very good. Despite Dave the Not Devil trying to wreck things, the party people actually say that the party is even more lively since David showed up, much to David's chagrin. Senior Imp Not Devil David then tells Trinity they have to break the party, or they'll be in danger of turning into humans, and then they'll no longer be imps. Then for some reason, David starts chasing Auntie Maybelle around the kitchen, and she grabs a mop and is like, "I'ma smack the crap out of you." But then David starts to flirt with her, and she's like, "I guess you are kind of cute." These imps, man, overflowing with charisma. These ladies love themselves a bad boy. After some stares and whispers in dark corners take place between Mr. Johnson and his son Harold, we then see Ernestine and Maybelle singing about these imps they're flirting with. But the looks that Mr. Johnson was giving from his son Harold was about Harold professing his love for Ernestine. But his parents are like, "She's beneath you. You're a college boy. You've got a bright future. You can do better." And Harold seems to really like Ernestine, who I have no idea who she's actually interested in at this point.
She's 18.
She's 20.
20.
She's 20, Kay.
That's right. She's 20. She's a baby.
I will say, though, they do kind of... I don't know if she's based on somebody that Melvin maybe knew or something like that, but I do feel like she's... And they do say she moved to the city, so maybe she's, like, used to living in the country or something. She seems very naive in a lot of ways.
Yes.
And so I'm wondering, and I'm just piecing it now together that she probably is like a country kid who moved to the city and has been learning a lot.
It's one of those things. I want to know more about that party in Harlem that inspired this.
The scene changes and we have various story conflicts intermingling in darkness. Ernestine and Maybelle singing about their imp men. Harold's dad telling him he's too good for Ernestine and that he's breaking his mother's heart by pining after this lesser woman. And then David tells Trinity to break the party. Oh, and Harold has a big future. Just want to make sure we all need to know Harold has a big future.
Got a big future. Big future.
Yep.
Big future in front of you.
And the way they shoot this one is like when I say that they're intermingled in darkness, like the lighting's gone except for like whatever's shining on them. It's completely black and they're all facing the camera like lined up. And the way that they're doing it is like they're all in different places in the house, but the way that they shoot it is yeah.
I love that. I love this is so good. So good, in my opinion.
Then, the scene has changed to Ernestine crying because Harold wouldn't dance with her, and Maribel is like, well, you can't keep playing two men against each other, fool girl. And Ernestine is like, but I want to go somewhere and be somebody someday. And then Maybelle reminds Ernestine that everyone starts from somewhere. Even the devil started in heaven. Mighty far way to fall.
Mm-hmm.
And Ernestine is like, I've been a fool. I should have listened to you. And Maybelle is like, well, yeah, but like, don't give up. And then she tells her to stop crying and to get back out there. It's your birthday party after all on this Saturday night. Maybelle then comes back out to the party to be like, I've been in the kitchen. It's my turn to do some dancing. And she tells them to put on a new record. She tries to talk some sense into Trinity, being the proverbial angel on his shoulder, while David is the break the party, do it, do it, do it, devil. Trinity then goes to Ernestine, who is like, I'm sorry, I was a fool, do you forgive me? All while David is behind Trinity like, she's gonna say that she was a fool and ask you for forgiveness. But before they could keep talking in Trinity's ear, Maybelle pulls him out for a dance and leaves the two lovebirds to mend their feelings. But not long passes before everyone is hurried into the kitchen to set the table and have some food to feed their hungry souls. And then they sing about Jesus and how he told people to eat him, or feast on him, to fill their hungry souls. I did not have cannibalism on this show's bingo card, Kate.
It's metaphorical cannibalism.
But the way that they sing it, it is a little weird. Like, I will say...
Oh, man. And see, I was just like watching it going, oh, yeah, no, that's the same sort of stuff you'd hear in any church services. Feast on me. That's you know. That's the Jesus-y stuff. But it's metaphorical cannibalism. It's fine.
Right, I know. And then there's I don't want to make you have to edit too much of this because there's jokes I really want to make, you know. They have a prayer, say amen, and then squeeze into their tight seating arrangement to feast. Mrs. Johnson is like, oh, my tummy is very delicate. Nighttime, I won't be able to eat a thing. And David is like, liar! You eat like a pig! And then Mr. Johnson and Harold are like, what did you say about my wife, mother? And I said it in the right order. Mr. Johnson and Harold, wife and mother. That was correct. Don't judge me. And David is like, you want to fight about it? And the Johnsons are like, if we weren't so high class, I'd thrash you to a pulp. And then the Johnsons storm out, and David is like, ha, 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 I finally broke the party. And then the rest of the party goers laugh and laugh like, nah, the Johnsons suck. And then they go back to partying.
I love that.
It's like, we've been wanting to tell her off about her sensitive tummy for years, kind of thing. So they're just all giving David accolades for telling him to, take a hike. Then they give David, the not devil, 3 hip hip hoorays for telling off Mrs. Johnson. And then the family goes down to Grubtown. And now I'm hungry. Thanks, movie. And when we get some nice jazz music as the family is eating, drinking, and having general merriment, and then the itis sets in, as Kay said. Much sighing, burping, and loosening of belts takes place before Trinity is like, everyone, I have something to say. And then Trinity says that he and Ernestine are getting engaged. Everyone's like, that's fine. That's just fine. You've known each other all of what? 90 minutes, but okay, sure. I wish you all the success in the world. Be good to one another, and remember, we're all just human. And then David, the not devil, accompanied by eerie music, is like, yes, cheers to Trinity and Ernestine. May they have a long, happy life. And then Auntie Maybelle brings out a secret cake hidden from the kitchen sink, and they sing happy birthday to Ernestine before grubbing down on some sink cake.
I need to say, the set for the kitchen/dining area, I love it. Like, they show everyone setting up the table, and it's a small kitchen table. It's a table that honestly,
very small, yeah.
Yeah, it reminds me of the one that was in my grandparents' house a little bit, like in the kitchen. And then there's still not enough room, but they've got it prepared because they host this party every night, and they bring out an ironing board, and that's what they set the rest of the table. The set design is amazing in this. I love it so much.
They make very efficient use of such a small space, for sure. And then, of course, we get, like I mentioned, now I'm hungry because we get all the great shots of, like, all the food and everything like that. So, yeah. So everyone thanks Maybelle for the delicious meal and cake, and they thank the Lord for the Saturday night party. People start excusing themselves out for the night. Trinity and David have an imp fight with their high squeaky voices. Trinity wants to stay and be human, and David is like,
"You want to stay and be a human and get called names? The master will be upset with you. We're going to make sure your inevitable return is horrible."
And he especially brings up, you're going to be black.
mm-hmm.
Are you prepared to hear what they're going to call you?
Yeah.
Just, oh my gosh, like, again, Melvin Van Peebles is amazing, and this is such a good show.
It is interesting of, like, the narrative of the redemption of a devil for the sake of love.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. And it does kind of have that theme of, like, love conquers all. Even if it's dumb young love and they've known each other for 90 minutes and decide to get engaged. This wasn't filmed in Utah, was it? Like... I'm just saying. Utah has a reputation for quick weddings. Yeah. Trinity, though, after, David's like, we're going to make sure that your return to hell is your inevitable return to hell is going to be extra horrible, which I'm like, how do you make hell worse? Like, what, is there super hell? Anyway, Trinity is like, I plan on avoiding hell, and David reminds him that it only takes a few slip-ups and then he'll be back. And David's trying to leave, but Maybelle is like, the party ain't over, and she keeps David from leaving. David starts to laugh, saying that he'll stay, but the party won't last long, because he's got an ace up his sleeve. David then breaks into song about how you've got to play the game if you want to win the prize. He then sings about how women are hypocrites who want to be lied to, and if you're honest with them, then things don't work out. And this part particularly, as singing like that, I was like, wow, I could see that as the argument. I've heard that argument be made by, right-wing crapheads, who the ones that are like very not kind when they speak about women. But
as friend of the show Chuck Salamone would say, chromey people.
Chromey behavior. But yeah, so he's saying that women are hypocrites who just want to be lied to, and if you're honest with them, then things won't work out. Love is just lies, so says David the not devil. And then he tries to seduce Maybelle, who is so into it. Like, he pulls her into his lap and is like schmoozing, and she's like, oh, which then like freaks him out. It actually scares David away. He's like, whoa, I was not prepared for this. And then, so scares David away, and Maybelle makes a joke about never having met a man who's leaving before the deed is done.
Like, he poofs.
Yeah, poofs in a cloud of smoke and disappears. But then David didn't disappear. He just turned into a cockroach, and Maybelle smashes him into paste on the kitchen floor with her smasher. Trinity is like dazed by the roachicide of David, and then Maybelle starts singing about smashing devils, because it's them or you, so you gotta smash them. We then get a reprise of the song we just barely had about smashing devils.
Basically the bows music.
Yeah, well, like the way they do it, because
call music.
They do like the whole song, and then there's like a brief lull, and then it picks right back up. Well, okay, which I guess is what musicals. I know, but
and if this was being performed in front of an audience, this would be the curtain call.
It's like the beginning of the final number, and then there's like a lull, and then it picks back up to finish the final number, is kind of what it feels like. But then we get this montage of people coming in and out of like the same bedroom door. I don't know. It almost felt like, I don't know what they were trying to do there, because it felt a little Scooby-Doo, because you kept having like different people coming out of the exact same door and then like walking in different directions, and I don't know what.
That was probably the door that they would have been coming out of for the curtain call. So when you come out to bow, oftentimes you'll either come out from one of the wings or you'll come out through center. And since that was staged, Ernestine's bedroom is set in center stage, and so that would be where they're coming out of, is from the bathroom door to come out and do their bows.
And every time they were opening the door, I was like looking into the room, but it's like because the film is slightly sped up, so it's doing that kind of come in and come out. Door is open and close faster than normal, and every time they'd open the door, I'm trying to look in there because I was like, "Is that the bathroom? Is everybody coming in and out of the bathroom?"
Yeah, it's got a toilet and a "Beware of Dog" sign up above it.
Okay, that's what that's because I saw the "Beware," but I couldn't make out "Beware of Dog." But that was the thing is like because you'd have like one person at a time doing the in and out, and then you have a couple times where there's two people that come out of the bathroom at the same time, and you're like,
Yeah, because when you're having like, it's commonplace in curtain calls if you've got characters that are like
It's
a couple.
commonplace in curtain calls.
If you've got like a set of characters that are a couple or something, they'll come out at the same time and do their bow together. So that's kind of what you're getting to see there.
That does make more sense. Well, I mean, that kind of implies that they were setting up David and Maybelle to be a couple, which I guess technically over the course of that show, they're more of a couple than she is with Bowser.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we do that montage where people coming in and out of the same bedroom door and then crawling on the walls and ceiling, chasing David, who's not in cockroach form, just regular human form, singing and smash him, smash him, smash him. And then the credits roll. The end. Which that last part, I don't know, it was kind of funny how like the show is played primarily straight, like the whole time, and then you get this wackadoo ending scene where they're like climbing up and down the walls and the ceiling chasing David to smash him, and it was a little bit of like a turn. I was just kind of like, this kind of went into surreal territory, like just right at the very end, almost like a, I don't know, like here's just a spritz of acid, kids, like.
Yeah, that's just basically standing in for what would normally be your curtain call section or the credits section, because they had most of their credits at the start.
But the lesson to take away from this, remember kids, if you see a devil, smash him. Because when you tangle with the devil, it's either him or you. So smash him. Oh, and also like, love conquers all, be good to people, that sort of thing.
Be yourself.
Be yourself. Unless yourself sucks, then try to be something else.
Yeah, don't be the Johnsons.
Well, don't be like an imp.
Yes,
because that's
be
also kind of thing. They start out, well, I mean, David doesn't get a redemption, but Trinity starts out wanting to be bad and do, well, starts out bad, wanting to do bad, and then, he decides he doesn't want to be bad anymore.
It's one of those things, so I keep joking that this is if Screwtape Letters was good. But when I was in high school, the Lutheran school that I went to did a play that was an adaptation of Screwtape Letters, and it wasn't very faithful to Screwtape Letters, but a big part of it was this young demon Wormwood is going to Earth to try and tempt a man into sin, and he's writing letters back and forth with his uncle Screwtape, and at the end of the play they had Wormwood get redeemed at the same time as the guy that he was tempting, because the guy dies, but he doesn't get tempted to sin. It's basically like he still stays a Christian, because this was in C.S. Lewis's really Jesus-y phase. And in the book, it's more of like, you failed, so we're gonna eat you in hell once you get back here. And so it's kind of the same feel, but better.
I have a this is gonna sound silly, but I have a genuine question.
Yes.
Who's delivering the mail in hell? Like, if you're writing letters to a demon, who's taking that letter to hell?
I don't know, the Horseman Express. The Four Horsemen Express.
The Pale Horse Express.
Pale Horse Express, something like that.
I just love this idea. Dearest uncle in hell, things are going great up here on the surface. Sincerely, demon. But anyway.
But yeah, so.
But I like the show.
Same.
Entertaining, fun, fast pace. I like the general themes of it. It's very not a Not a stupid show. I'll put it that way. It's not a dumb show.
It's a thinker.
It is a thinker.
Mm-hmm.
It is a thinker. It's a ponderer. It's a noodle scratcher. A noggin ponderer. A brain teaser. How many of these do I have in me? That might be it.
Well, I'm glad that you liked it. Like I said, we're going to try and watch more of Melvin Van Peebles' work down the line, just probably not for these Black Theater History episodes, just because...
I can't be on my best behavior for that long.
Well, there
It's
is
not
no
my best
way
behavior, but-
in some of them to make
There's
the
no,
movie itself.
there's no way to talk about it without it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because this and Watermelon Man are the two most age-appropriate ones. And Watermelon Man isn't even necessarily, like... I watched that one when I was young, but I also watched Dogma when it first came out, so...
Okay, if I was a watermelon man, would you eat me?
Yes.
I'm glad. Because if you were a watermelon K, you'd have to be in a different room. You'd have to keep me away with a sharp stick.
What a strange... Well, I am glad that you liked this one. Like I said, it was hard to find stuff about it, so hopefully, I don't know, if more people look into this. Like I said, it's on Amazon Prime, it's on Criterion Collection. You can find DVDs out there. The one that I got was off of Amazon as well, but it looked like there weren't very many in stock, so I don't know if it's out of print. It shouldn't be, because it's available on Criterion Collection streaming, but I am very mad that I couldn't buy it off of Criterion Collection's site. So Criterion Collection, if you're hearing this, I would buy it off of your site. Just saying.
Criterion Collection? More like Chromie Collection. I don't know.
I am glad that you liked this, though.
I did
Yeah,
like it. I think it was good.
Excellent. Well, thank you all for listening, to patrons that got to watch this be recorded live.
I'm sorry. We're sorry. Well, mostly I'm sorry. Or am I?
Thank you for all of your support throughout these years. And thank you everyone for listening. We will be back. We're not going to be able to do any more episodes this month just because it's going to be really busy outside of podcast land. But we will be back in March. We're going to pick up our Hylix episodes because we do need to explain, for those of you who have seen the playthrough, what you just saw and why a musical theater podcast is covering it. But we'll be picking that back up in March and getting back into the swing of episodes. I'm really excited. We've got some fun stuff coming down the pike. But,
Down the pike? Or is it down the
or
pipe?
pipe. It might be pipe.
I was like, because that implies like a pike is like a spear.
Or a fish.
Oh, and coming down the fish. Yes, let's go with that. We've got some great stuff coming down the fish.
See, I have my non sequiturs and I didn't have enough caffeine today to speak English.
What is English just beyond just sophisticated barking? That's all. Like I said, I've said this for years. We just need to return to barking. Things were more efficient. There was less confusion when we were all just barking.
Woof. Anyway, thank you all for listening. We will be back in March. But
I'm translating for the dogs listening in the audience. So, but continue.
That's gonna be it for this episode. I'm Kay.
I'm Warren.
This has been Tone Deaf. I'm amazed this hasn't gotten the dogs barking yet.
They're just giving us stare blanks like, can we get different owners?